This is a really quick tutorial on how to get started in Google Classroom. So the first thing that you need to do is to log into your Gmail account or your Google account. Now it has to be your CDCFE account. You can't log in using your regular Gmail account, so it has to be your work one. And you have to tell the students the same thing. They have to log in using their specifically their classroom, their Colossadoola Gmail account. So Hashmit very kindly set me up with a brand new Gmail account called tutorials@cdcfe.com just to show you guys how to get started in this. So you can see I've logged in here, it's brand new, I haven't even got any emails to it. So when you log in, you'll see in your Gmail there's a little kind of button up here, and that shows you all of the Google applications that you might want to use. So you're probably familiar with this if you ever use Google Drive or Sheets or Docs, they're all in there. But if you scroll all the way down the end, there should be a link here to Google Classroom. If that doesn't show up there, just do a search for Google Classroom and it'll bring you straight to it. So go in here, classroom.google.com. Okay, so when you initially come in, what it will ask you to do is to set yourself up. So this is tutorials@cdcfe.com. Or it might be, say, hsheridan@cdcfe.com. So I'll just click on continue. So are you a student or a teacher? I'm a teacher. Okay, so it'll take a minute or two just to go through that. So this is brand new. So obviously I haven't set up any classes on this at all. So, I mean, it's very well done. It shows you exactly, you can see up here, join your first class. If I click here, create or join a class, I'll click create a class. Okay, so let's say, for example, I teach graphic design skills to first years. Now, I use a naming convention because I just find it much easier for me when I'm looking for things. So, say, for example, for my first year group, I'll always put in GD01. For my second year classes, I put in GD02 or GD03. It's up to you. You could put in the course code if you knew what it was, or even the module code if you were familiar with it. I find it easier to do it like this. So GD01, I know that's first year. And let's say graphic design skills. Let's say that's a module that I teach. Now I also teach the students a module called design skills. So sometimes what I might choose to do is, or let's say, for example, a classic one would be if you taught the students communications and work experience. You might decide that, do you know something, I don't need two separate classrooms for those two modules because they're so interlinked with each other and intertwined with each other. So actually, let's do that. Let's say, for argument's sake, I teach communications and work experience. Spelling it right would be handy. Sorry. Work. Okay. I can put a section and a subject in if I want, but I find it easier just to keep it like this. This would be, say, for example, if you, I don't know, if you had sort of smaller, lower level subjects within a class or something like that. But to be honest with you, I find this easier. Just give it a kind of title like that and click create. So that'll just take a minute. Okay, so here's my first. Okay, so what's new in Classroom? View all the students work in a single page. Give grades. Okay, we'll read that later. We'll just click got it. Okay, so this is brand new. There's absolutely nothing in it. I can do things like change the theme here if I don't like the color of it. Let's have a look. Communications and work experience. Let's say, okay, I want more of a booky kind of look to it. Let's go with that. Select class theme. If I decided I want to put my own photo in there, I can do that. It's not really that important, but if you just don't like the look of it, you can do that. So the next thing that you want to do would be to invite people into your class. So you can see when you're in Google Classroom, there is a banner across the top here. And that's all of the different sections that you might want to go in. So there's three main sections really. There's this section called Stream, And usually what I put into the stream section is things like briefs, things with deadlines, mostly briefs, or exams, you know, if you were giving them a little, say, form to fill out, like for an exam or something like that. Then I'll just skip over students and I'll go to the About section. Normally in the About section, what I put in is things like handouts, class materials, let's say links to YouTube videos that I might want them to look at, PDFs that I might want them to read, things like that. If I go into the students section, you'll see that there's no students because it's brand new. I haven't set anything up yet. Okay, so there's what I need to do now is start to invite students into this classroom. So there's a few ways of doing it. You could, in class, you could give the students this code. Now, if you give them the code, they have to be, first of all, logged in as not in their personal Gmail account, as I said earlier, it has to be their student account. They have to go to classroom.google.com then, and if they enter this code, and it'll be pretty obvious, they'll be able to see where they can enter it. They put that code in, they can get into your classroom. Another thing you can do is you can click in here. So I'm going to invite myself. Now, as I start to type my email, HSH, you see I already sent myself an email. So I'm starting to pop up now. So what I usually do is on the first day of class, I set the students up before I set up Google Classroom or anything like that. I will make sure that the students are set up with all of their student accounts, and I get every student to email me, and then I just save as a classroom group. I save that group of students. So every time I go to type in a student's email, it'll automatically pop up. So I think that's probably the best way to do it. So I'm going to invite myself in, and I'll show you the email. I'll log out of tutorials at classroom.com or at gmail.com, and I'll log in as me, and you'll see the invite that I got. So let's invite me. Okay, so I'm invited. Okay. And you can see, I'll just leave that up there for a minute, but you can see I'm greyed out, that I'm invited, but I haven't accepted the invite yet. So you'll be able to see straight away, as in class even, I do this and I have it up on screen, and it's like, okay, this student has accepted, that student has, oh, you haven't, okay, can you go in and accept that? Now there's another thing, before I log out and accept the invite, you can see here that students can post and comment. So students can actually post notices up in your classroom. Now they can't interfere with the documents that you put up, but let's say you put a document up for the students to look at. They might be able to put a comment underneath saying, you know, I don't understand the second point on this, or thanks very much, that's great, you know, and so on and so forth. So whether you want the students to be able to do that or not, I usually leave it that the students can post and comment. I'll be honest with you, they don't do it very often. So it has never been a problem for me that the students are posting all over the place. They just don't really do it. So I just leave it up that they can post and comment. So I'm going to click got it. So I'm going to quickly just log out here. And let me sign in as me here. Okay, so I'm a student now. Okay, let me actually, before I go in there, let's go into my Gmail. I should have gotten an email. Here we go. Class invitation, there. Class invitation. GDO1 Communications Work Experience. Okay, let's go in. Yeah, okay. Signed out of that. Sorry, I was getting confused because I'm in more than one. Let's go back in again. Sorry about this. Let me just... Here we go. So, tutorials at cdcfe.com has invited you to the class GDO1 Communications Work Experience. Do I want to join? Yes, I do. Let's join. I'll show you what the students will see. And what they'll see at the moment is nothing. And And it's given me a little prompt as a student that I can post to the class or comment and posts from your teacher and classmates. Anything on the stream can be seen by the whole class. So your class doesn't have any posts yet. I'm the only classmate. If there were other students that had accepted their invite, they would all pop up here. In the About section, you can see there's nothing on it yet. So, okay. Let me log out. Again, and go back in here. I don't want to do that. And okay, I'm back in now. I'm the tutor again. And you can see I only have one class and I have one student. So the same thing, if I need another class, create class, let's say GD01, design skills. I can create that. I go into, excuse me, invite students, and I can invite, if you have a list as well, like I usually make up lists up of students. GD, I don't have any done at the moment, so GD01 would be one list. That would be my first years, and their names will all pop up. So I'm just going to cancel that. I'll tell you what, I'll invite myself again. Okay, so I'm going to invite myself again, just to show you. Oh, why could I not invite me? Okay, that's weird. Let's go back. Definitely invited here. Okay, let's not worry about it for now. It's as I'm logging in and out of two different accounts. It's getting, this wouldn't be the normal way of doing it. I'm just trying to show you, if I was a student what I would see, and if I'm a tutor what I would see. You wouldn't get to see the student end of it because obviously you're a tutor. So we'll stick with just what we have here. So that's the first little tutorial, and that's just setting up Google Classroom. I guess the main thing is you need to make sure that every student has their CDCFE account, and that they have their password, that they can log in and accept your invitation. So that's the first tutorial.